Anytime anyone is having a serious, real conversation about music in Barbados, you'd have to search all these fields and hills to find someone who does not bring up our boy, Jackie Opel. That he was a Barbados-born inventor of spouge is what everybody knows for sure. Beyond that though, not much is known about Jackie. Today, I explore the life of the great Jackie Opel. On August 27, 1937, Dalton St. Clair Bishop was born. You might be wondering why I mentioned this man, but it turns out Jackie Opel's real name was Dalton. Raised a typical Bajan man, probably eating pudding and sauce on a Saturday, playing cricket in the Gap, Dalton took a keen interest in the red light district of Nelson Street. I ain't gonna lie, that was just a setup for a joke, but the fact remains he frequented the area. That is where he fell in love with music, spending hours upon hours of his time by the jukeboxes so he could listen to his idol, Jackie Wilson, a prominent figure in the American music industry who is known for his contribution to the R&B and soul genres, just to name a few. Dalton Bishop modeled his voice after his idols and adopted the moniker Jackie Opel. At just 17 years old, the talented Jackie Opel booked a stint performing at the Coconut Creek Club in St. James. His star power shined brightly, and guests adored the Bajan Jackie Wilson. He'd matched not only his idol sound, but also his energetic dancing. His popularity skyrocketed, and he soon became the go-to opening act for overseas performers. In fact, it was said that when Percy Sledge, the singer of When a Man Loves a Woman, was booked to perform at the Globe Theatre in Robert Street, Bajans were so hyped by Jackie Opel's performance that 4 songs into Percy's set, the crowd demanded an encore from Jackie. And knowing how we are as Bajan people, I don't doubt that happened for true. In the 1960s and in his prime, Jackie took things to another level by inventing a genre of music, spouge. Spouge is typically a fusion of Jamaican ska, the precursor to reggae, and Trinidadian calypso, with a little R&B influence. I'll go more in depth on that in another episode, but for now just remember that ska is from Jamaica, calypso is from Trinidad, and spouge from Barbados. In 1962, Jamaica achieved its independence from Britain. Artists throughout the region flew in to be a part of this celebration. Amongst them, of course, was my boy Jackie Opel. Now, Jackie ain't just pick up and go on his own accord. He was actually discovered by Byron Lee from the Dragonaires, who taken Opel to John Rock in order to work with him and expand his talents. You have to remember this was in the 1960s, and it was at this time that the Jamaican music scene was kicking into full gear. This move allowed him to become part of the Satellites, and work with the legendary producer Clement Coxsone Dodd, both of whom are credited with the creation of ska. The Satellites worked with Dodd as a session band at his recording studio, Studio One, the first black-owned studio in Jamaica, and the studio at the forefront of the development of ska, rocksteady, and reggae. I say all that to say that Jackie was playing with the big boys. Through the Satellites, Jackie was able to work with one of Dodd's artists that you may or may not know, Bob Marley, producing the hit song The Mailman. Marley was the backing vocalist on that track, by the way, so to clarify, Marley was supporting Jackie, remember that. Jamaicans love to think that Jackie belonged to them, but after doing a tour in Trinidad, he came back home to the rock. Unfortunately, however, on the 3rd of March 1970, Jackie Opel tragically passed away in a car accident at the young age of 32. Although he died young, Jackie had made strides in the music world and paved the way for many Barbadian musicians to reach his level and go even beyond that.